and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, hi, I'm Katelyn, and today we're talking Disney restaurants. I've got my handy dandy little list here because it's kind of a lot. It's no secret that there's a lot of dining at Disney World, but today I want to focus on table service specifically. So I'm going to start off with what I think is some of the best dining, personally, is character dining. So I've dined at Topolino's for breakfast, I've done Chef Mickey's for breakfast, I've done Tusker House, I've done Cinderella's Royal Table, Crystal Palace, Cape May Cafe, Be Our Guest, Hollywood and Vine, and recently 1900 Park Fair. And honestly, out of a lot of those, most of them are really good. I love character dining, love interacting with characters, especially if you have little kids. Character dining is so much fun. I personally, it kind of just depends on who you are, but for me, I would recommend Topolino's definitely. A, it's character dining, and B, you're getting like a nicer meal, at least in my opinion. I think Topolino's is one of like the nicer restaurants in Disney World, so I definitely recommend that if you're trying to have like a nicer kind of like classy vibe, but also still have like the characters for the kiddos or even yourself. Chef Mickey's is obviously a classic. I mean, that's an iconic table service. If you talk to anyone who's obsessed with Disney, they've probably been to Chef Mickey's and they probably loved it. I loved it. I loved that where we sat specifically, you could see the castle right behind us and it was super cool. And also Hollywood and Vine is one. I feel like it's kind of slopped on because usually it's like Disney Junior characters, which if you have kids that love Disney Junior characters, then normally it's great. I like going during like Halloween or Christmas when it's like Minnie, Mickey, Pluto, Goofy, and like they're dressed in their holiday outfits. I always love going. I think it's so cute, and I'm somebody who's like a sucker for the holidays, so it's definitely one that I like to check out. Now let's talk about some fine dining. I'm not somebody who does a lot of fine dining because I am a little bit of a picky eater, but out of the three I've been to Morimoto in Disney Springs, Topolino's again, and the Cake Bake Shop I went on my last trip. And honestly, I still recommend all three of them. Morimoto, if you're somebody who either likes Asian cuisine or is more of like an explorative, I don't know if that's a word, explorative eater, Morimoto is definitely a good place to start. There is such a diverse menu, but without being too big. I absolutely love it. Topolino's, again, really nice meal. You can do it for dinner. I've never been for dinner. I really want to go. But when I even went for breakfast, it was like, it had like that elevated vibe. And then Cake Bake Shop. I know it's not technically like super expensive, I guess. I feel like that's a lie. It has like that fancy vibe and I really liked it and it was so much fun. This is one I think a lot of people are going to be interested in, which is good for a budget. If you're somebody who's not trying to like spend $1 million to do a sit down at Disney World, I have some options for you. I've been to Chef Art Smith Homecoming in Disney Springs, Enzo's Hideaway, also in Disney Springs, Skipper Canteen in Magic Kingdom, Mama Melrose, which RIP, she's going away literally in May, which is so sad, Nine Dragons in Epcot in the China Pavilion, and then Yak and Yeti in Animal Kingdom. Now, out of those, I feel like the best bang for your buck, Chef Art Smith Homecoming, the portions are huge. I remember we went and Justin, my boyfriend, got a country fried steak, I believe, and it was huge. It was maybe like the size of my head. It was giant. If you're somebody who kind of likes that Southern comfort style food, it kind of reminds me of like a better Cracker Barrel, which is such a weird comparison. But I grew up going to Cracker Barrel all the time when my family would like drive down to Disney World. We would stop there for dinner because me and my sister were very picky eaters and it was one of the only places we'd go. But it kind of reminds me of that with like the Southern comfort, but it's just like so much better and the portions are huge, so you're getting like a lot of food for not that much money. I would also say that Skipper Canteen in Magic Kingdom, now controversial yet brave statement here, I think Magic Kingdom has the most mid-table service restaurants in all of Walt Disney World. I very rarely, if ever, will do a sit down in Magic Kingdom, but if I had to, I loved Skipper Canteen. Again, if you're more of like an adventurous eater, it's good for that, but also for somebody picky like me, I was able to find something to eat and actually really enjoyed it. The environment is so cool. It's just like generally like a fun restaurant and I really liked it and I would honestly recommend it. And definitely I think this one's kind of the most obvious in my opinion. If you've ever listened to anybody talk about Disney table service, Yak and Yeti is the most amazing place I've ever eaten. It's just so good. So I've been there multiple times and I will continue to go there until I cannot anymore. The food is definitely like Pan-Asian Indian style food, which if you're not the biggest fan of that, maybe it's not for you, but I loved it. I'm somebody who, again, I'm very picky, but I got I think I either got sweet and sour chicken or honey chicken or something like that, and it was so good. And now I'm craving it. I also, Justin, again, my partner, he got the chicken tikka masala and devoured it, and literally every single time we go to Animal Kingdom, he wants to go there and get it because he loves it so much. It's really good bang for your buck. The portions are decently sized, and it's not crazy expensive. Like, it's honestly, I feel like one of the better options for dining in Disney World. This last little tidbit is kind of just for fun, but I wanted to throw it in anyway. Buffets are pretty common, especially for like breakfast in Disney, and I've done a lot of buffets because, again, picky eater here. So out of those, I would say Boma at Animal Kingdom Lodge is really, really good, especially if you have a mix of like picky eaters and adventurous eaters. They have a lot of like African style food, which if you have someone that is interested in trying that is really cool. And then they also have just like normal classic buffet foods like waffles and stuff like that. I also really liked Cape May Cafe at Disney's Beach Club Resort. I went there in September with Justin and a few of our friends, and honestly, like, the character dining is fun. Again, love a good character meal. But like, some of the food was also like really good too, because it was more like beach style. So there was this pull apart bread that they give you when you sit down, which is really good, and I honestly wish I brought it back to the resort with me, and I, now that I'm thinking about it, regret that I didn't. They also had like different kinds of waffles and stuff like that. It was honestly just like really fun, and the food was really good. Crystal Palace is another one. I love Crystal Palace. I'm not the biggest like Pooh and Friends fan, but it's so fun, and they're so cute, and they have churro Mickey waffles. Churro Mickey waffles. That is amazing, and I need them now. So if you're somebody like me who you have an obsession with something like Mickey waffles, you have to go. And this one is, I am gonna put like an asterisk next to it because it's not technically a buffet, it's family style. So like, I'm gonna put it in this category because I need to talk about it. But Ohana. I love going to Ohana for dinner. Those noodles, I swear I think they put drugs in them because they are addicting. They're so, so good. The steak is great. The chicken's amazing. The seasoning is awesome. It's just, all of it is just perfection. The honey, like coconut bread or whatever it is so good. The bread pudding at the end, I literally could eat it every day of the rest of my life. It's so good. I am going for breakfast this next trip, so I'm very excited to see how it is for breakfast versus dinner. But I definitely have to recommend Ohana for dinner. I have to. If you guys have any other restaurants that you want me to talk about, if you have any questions about the restaurants that I've already talked about, anything like that, leave it in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!